If you've been following this channel at all, especially on social media, then you'll have heard me talk about Kabuto Sumo. Not only is it one of my favorite dexterity games ever, but it's just outright one of my favorite games that I've played in recent memory, and easily the game that I've played the most so far this year. It's snappy, thematic, easily grokked, and infectiously fun, adding a contemplative physics spin to what we commonly think of as dexterity games. And now BGT is just about to kickstart a host of expansions for their lineup, so today we're going to be taking a first look at Kabuto Sumo Total Mayhem, with the disclaimer that everything you're about to see is from a prototype, so artwork, rules, and components are all subject to change. Total Mayhem is the American-style wrestling response to the base game's thematic foundation, which I initially expected to clash, but then I realized this is a game all about bug wrestling with characters like Mjolnir and Cactus Jack, and aesthetically speaking, the new stuff fits in beautifully, underpinned by Kwanchai Moriya's continued excellent illustrations. The expansion consists of 8 cards and their accompanying wooden bits. During setup, 2 cards are drawn, which will make their rules and components available to all players. Interestingly, all cards have 2 sides, one with a match side, adding the component and unique additional rules or victory conditions, then an item side where the item is accessible but has a less central effect. Of the 2 cards drawn at setup, one is set to its match side, the other to its item-only side, then you commence with play as normal. Well, as normal as it can be, with matchsticks waving around and chairs slamming about. I've already played a bunch of different combinations at this point, and what I like most is that it gives you more of what Kabuto Sumo already has: fun, poppy, thematic gameplay, but it also addresses some of the pitfalls of the game too. The alternate victory conditions go a long way in preventing stalemates, from Matchstick Mayhem begging you to stick a torch in the center of the ring, to a player knocking over the guitar twice in the infinitely cool Symphony of Destruction. Or my personal favorite, the 16 caltrops of the Briar Patch Brawl that are scattered on the board and collected by players who knock them off. Collect 4 and you lose the match, which makes for quite the tense turn as you are pushing your pieces. It's brilliant. Overall, these are such a lovely addition to the game. They are quick to set up, easy to integrate, and intuitive to play. Because only 2 are used at a time and the fronts and backs have different effects, there's a huge range of possible combinations, and every combo I've played has genuinely put its own flavor on the game. Furthermore, the components add a new strategic layer without adding much complexity, realizing the implications of the straight legs of the chair, or the component absorption of the briefcase, or the tunnel created by the surprisingly sturdy but victory-inducing if knocked over table, which, can I just point out, is a board game table made by Board Game Tables that I can play on my board game table. It's just so literal. And it's nice that the components usually come at the cost of paying or stacking existing pieces, giving you critical choices as they tend to be more impactful, but consuming pieces risks submission. The expansion is just a delight. It's smart, cheeky, and seamlessly integrates with the game. And now, between all the different bug, match, and item combinations, there's a ton of variety. Speaking of which, there are 2 new items that I have the cards but not the components for. The ladder and the coffin, one a sort of ascending push your luck mechanic, the other a sarcophagus that accrues out-of-play pieces only to be released when a bug is on the edge. Both sound cool, but a little bit more elaborate than the others, so I'll have to wait to comment on those until I get my hands on the final release. If I had to say something bad about the expansion, it's that it's totally unnecessary. Kabuto Sumo was already a lovely game on its own, and I'd be perfectly fine recommending to someone the base game without the expansion. But if you do love Kabuto Sumo, and you want something that accelerates play, has a ton of personality, adds a strategic layer, and virtually eliminates the occasional stalemate that could happen in the base game, well, that's what Total Mayhem is all about. And it's awesome. And that's our review. But let me know, what do you think of Kabuto Sumo, this whole bevy of expansions that's going on in this Kickstarter, and what are some of your favorite dexterity games that I haven't covered on this channel? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, thank you so much for watching, thanks for supporting, thanks for being an awesome community. I have been Jack for the Cardboard Herald.